Hello, welcome to day 3 of my journey to wholesale. So I already recorded this video, but because I didn't have my handy dandy microphone on, you didn't hear any audio. So I'm doing this again. Hopefully I'll be more efficient this time. I think the last video was 8 minutes. Maybe I can get it done in 5 minutes. So I haven't got a wholesale order. However, I did go to a few antique shops and I did land one of them as far as getting my products in there. So I'm so excited to announce that I will have my products at a Melbourne antique store. Mind you, ain't nothing antique in the store. It's just a bunch of small businesses like vendors that just kind of came together and we rent out space. So it's a step in the right direction because it is going to give me exposure, and they are going to be, the store itself is going to be selling my items, which I think is phenomenal because like sitting at these markets and stuff, like it's so disappointing at times, especially when you just make like 2 sales after sitting there for 3-4 hours. So this will be good because that way I don't have to sit at a market. And what I really like about this specific antique shop is that they do a sip and shop every Thursday where they hand out alcoholic beverages, or they sell whatever special drink they got going on. And they encourage individuals to shop. So I'll be doing that on not every Thursday, but I'll do it at least once a month. And then they also have a vending event, not a farmer's market, but like a vendor craft market that they do every month that I did not know about. So every second Saturday they have one. And I think it's like $30 to the public, or if you are a vendor within the store, then it's $20. So I'm thinking about doing one of those maybe once every other month because I am trying to get away from doing the markets. They just take up a lot of time, and unfortunately, the sales don't reflect the time that I'm sitting there. So this will be a good place for me to start just because I will have all my stuff in the store, and then I'll also have access to that monthly vending event as well as that sip and shop every week. I also still have my market that I do that's only $10 a month. So I'm going to keep that one, y'all, because it's just $10 a month. So that one's offered every second Sunday of the month. So I'll be doing that too. As far as like the wholesale orders, I did check back in at the Jamaican restaurant and they did not follow up. I did leave my phone number for them to call me. So I don't know. I may have to just let that one go because they don't really seem like responsive. At least like I haven't met the owner. I left a sample for him and he hasn't he hasn't followed up. He has my phone number twice now and he hasn't called it. Or, at least he hasn't left a voicemail when he calls. So I haven't heard from him. So I'm going to leave that one alone for now. But I did go to another antique shop, and this antique shop was like legitimately antique. So he was really cool. He offered to allow me to put a couple of my products in his store just to see how it goes. Because one, he was like, he's a legitimate antique shop and he doesn't want to threaten the integrity of his store by selling, handmade goods when that's not really what his store is about. So I respect that. And he was also just like, he doesn't know how well it would do because those are just not the type of products that he sells, which I respect that too. So I don't know that I will put my products in his store, but he did offer it. He did tell me though that he's Cuban, and he was saying that there is a Cuban shop, like a nail salon and a barber shop that's up the street, which I haven't gone there yet, but he told me that they're there, and that if he mentions that he knows me, they may let me put some soap bars in there. So I was like, how cool is that? Like I feel like I'm one of the peoples now. So that was very generous for him to offer that. He also suggested that I just spend a day, start at like 10 in the morning, and go to a bunch of consignment shops. He said consignments are going to be better than antique stores for me because some businesses are legitimately antiques. Not the store that I'm in, but he said most of them are legitimately antique. So he told me to look into consignment stores, also look into nail salons, hair salons, barber shops, things where people just kind of talk and girls be girls and all that stuff. So I thought that was a good idea. I live near the beach, so he suggested that I go beachside. And like I said, just spend a day. He said from like 10 to 6, just spend a day going to the different local boutiques and offering them my soap bar or a sample soap bar. So what I'm going to do is, how I had like that folder where I had all of the brochures about my business in there. I'm going to take just the cover sheet one, fold it up, and put it in just a regular size envelope. Put a sample soap bar in there. I'm going to do at least like 20 of those. And one day next week, I am going to go and hit up all the boutiques beachside and then some nearby consignment stores, drop it off. And I figure like somebody's going to at least say, you know, hey, I'll let you put some of the stuff in the store, or, you know, point me in the direction of someone who will. And maybe through that, I will get my first wholesale order. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I know, but I figure at the very minimum, it will give me exposure, which is what I need. Just exposure to really get my name out there, get the products out there, because y'all, the soap be soaping and it just be sitting here. It's like I have a lot of it. And you know, the thing is that after 6 months, the soap bars start to lose their scent. And I got a lot of these soap bars that have been here for 6 months or more or longer. Now, let me tell you something. The lather on these soap bars are going to be top notch because they've been sitting for a long time. Soap is like wine. It gets better over time. But the scent does start to fade. And so I don't want to start marketing all these unscented soap bars, because when I first started making soap, I make them in these containers. And so this is like the wooden mold, and there's a silicone part that goes inside of it. But this will give me 10 1-inch soap bars and then 2 pieces. And I was just experimenting with all types of like fragrances, essential oils, colors, clays, all that stuff. So I had like a different soap bar every month, like 2 or 3, for no apparent reason, just because I liked it. And I was like, oh, I want to try that design. So I have a lot of soap bars that I just had only 10 that were made, and maybe 3 or 4 are left. So I'm going to cut those up into sample bars and give those out. Unfortunately, they've been discontinued. Unless someone tells me they really, really like them, then I'll start them. Because I think like from now on, I'm going to try to focus on just like my top selling soap bars, the ones that sell no matter what, like my honey and oatmeal, my southern peach, my lavender bliss. Those are soap bars that when I make them, they will sell, you know. So I think I'm going to focus on them, because I'm getting to a point now where I'm just like, I can't keep funding my business. I want my business to fund itself. So I'm not going to just be buying products like oils and butters and everything just over and over just because I want to make this cool soap bar. So I'm going to try to stick to what sells so that the business can start buying the things that it needs to operate, because this ain't working out. It's not working. So that's the goal for 2025, is to really have the business start operating as a fully functional, stable business where it's not relying on my income for it to flourish. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be focusing on the soap bars that I know that will sell, and not so much of like experimenting, even though I love experimenting, guys. So that's what we're going to be doing. And gosh, I try to get this video done in like 7 minutes or less, and that's not what's happening. So anyways, that is the step so far that I am on for the journey to wholesale. Hopefully I'll have some updates, some better updates in the next couple of days. So for now, Black Hands are out. Bye bye, guys.